Hello and welcome to another episode of Applied History. I'm Matt Blanchett of Blanchett Homes. We're here today with Matt Diana of Matt Diana House Right. Hi, Matt.
How you doing?
So, Matt, today, what are we talking about? Some preservation. So, oftentimes, a homeowner will see a house and they're in an antique home and the wood starts to look like it's starting to decay, and we don't want you to overreact. So, our whole philosophy is to preserve, restore, and then rebuild in that order, so we save as much of the historic character of your house as we can. So, starting with an example of what you might see in your home. So Matt, tell us about what this is and why people at home should not panic if they see wood that looks similar to this, whether it's, molding or a staircase. This is just a piece of wood showing some decay. So tell us what's going on here and why they don't need to panic.
Yeah. So, most people live in an old house. They bought the old house for the character. So when things start to deteriorate, let's not panic and burn it all out. So in a lot of cases, common things that will get damaged, particularly exterior. This was a windowsill. So you can see some chips and some damage, some divots, things like that. I would say in a situation like this, certainly no need to replace it. This can easily be filled with epoxy.
So this is a piece of molding with similar types of decay. Whoops. So what you want to do is get down to and chip off any dead wood like I just did and get down to what's solid. And as long as you have a substantial amount of what's solid, I would say, correct me if I'm wrong here, then it's worth saving. Even if you can tell there's going to come down. I know you've done some work already, a little foreshadowing of the next episode of what's going to happen next, but this is still worth saving. So we're going to talk about using epoxy and how we can preserve wood in this next episode. In order to do that, can you give us an overview of what tools we're going to need for that?
Yeah. So, if we're going to preserve the molding, usually I look for, if most of the molding's intact. If a lot of it's gone, then we're looking at some other process. But for now, for preservation, the first thing we'd probably start with is stripping the paint, right? So we get out the clean wood. And probably the first thing we'll do is test for lead paint. So they have little pen testers.
Always good.
So don't have any, but always good to know. And make sure you're wearing gloves and respirators and stuff.
Sure. Shout out to OSHA.
Yeah.
Right. And then what are the tools we have here?
Yeah. So we'll put we'll apply a paint stripper to the paint.
Okay.
That's gonna eat up all the paint, and that usually sits a certain amount of time.
Yep. We can see that started here for us.
Yep. Got that ready.
Great.
So then at that point we can start to remove the paint with paint scrapers.
Okay.
So they come in a variety of shapes and sizes for different profiles.
Yep. So you don't scratch the molding, I would imagine.
Yep.
This makes the wood a little bit sensitive, but again, we're getting ahead of ourselves.
Yep.
So what are the next tools we have here?
So after we're kind of got the wood clean, we're going to want to apply the epoxy.
Yep.
So it's usually, most epoxies are a two-part system. So you're mixing it, with a putty knife, something like that, and applying it, as you would with a putty.
So the epoxy is this we're talking about. It's really moldable.
Yeah.
It's like a putty. Yeah.
Some epoxies are really thin.
Okay.
Also, we use a consolidant. So all that rotted wood you can consolidate and then apply the thicker stuff to establish some kind of form.
Oh, cool.
Which is, that one's already prepped.
Okay.
I have another one here already prepped.
And what are these chisels used for?
Yep. So once that epoxy cures, now you can see obviously we need the shaping. So these tools, chisels, hand planes, sanders, kind of use all those together to shape the wood back to whatever profile it is.
Sounds like a joiner was a pretty important job.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, you had a lot of hats.
So I'm excited to see a demonstration of how we can bring a piece of wood like this back to life. Tune in next time. We'll see you on another episode of Applied History.